pieces together. You mentioned a kind of a young team, some new players coming in. For Rutgers, it's just important to get the season off to a strong start. Lafayette comes in on a kind of a rebuilding season, trying to get their act together with a brand new head coach. If you're Rutgers, you want to use this as an opportunity to get things off to a strong start.
The Leopards last year struggled to a 3-12 season, 0-8 in the tough Patriot League, but they do have a brand new head coach this year in Patrick Myers, his first season at the helm. 4 years as associate head coach at the University of Pennsylvania. Good program within the Ivy League. And, of course, the Scarlet Knights last year, 9-6. But keep in mind that 6 of those losses came by a combined 11 goals. They were 1-3 in one-goal games last year, and that's something Rutgers is hoping to turn around here in 2019.
Yeah, you look at some of those close losses, in particular in the Big Ten tournament last year against Maryland. That was a tough game. Had they won that game, they probably would have gotten to the NCAA tournament, Lou. But those are just games that Rutgers in this year has got to close out on. They've got to be able to finish out games.
And goal to our left for Lafayette is their freshman goalie, Ryan Ness. He's a Jersey guy out of Chatham High School, was first-team All-State for the Cougars up there, led them to the 2016 state championship. And in goal for Rutgers, getting the start, is the freshman Ben Pounds. He was an outstanding goalie at Ridgewood High School in North New Jersey, and right into the fire is Pounds. One significant change in NCAA lacrosse this year is a shot clock, and we'll explain that as we go along here. It is on right now, 65 seconds remaining on that initial shot clock possession.
Yeah, that shot clock is almost like the shot clock in basketball, but what it's going to do, Lou, is it's going to make every possession count that much more. So if you're Rutgers and Lafayette, you have to be very efficient on the offensive end.
Rutgers weaves it around, and it'll be interesting to see how teams adjust to having a shot clock. You would think it shouldn't hurt Rutgers too much, if you will. The Scarlet Knights play a fast-paced game. Here's an opportunity. The shot goes just wide, and a quick shot taken by the Scarlet Knights. David Sprock out there wearing number 0, a high school All-American, and they're very excited about him in the program. Rutgers possession with 20 seconds on the clock. It comes outside, and Sprock wheels it around. This is Casey Rose, who had a terrific season a year ago. Wanted to pull the trigger that time, then pulled it back in. Great pass in front, and Rutgers scores. Beautiful look to Adam Sherlin-Beatties, and that's a great start for him, coming back from back-to-back ACL injuries, and right away he puts Rutgers on the board.
And that's what you want to do if you want to be Rutgers. You want to get this thing off to a strong start. You mentioned Sherlin-Beatties, Lou, the 2016 Big Ten Freshman of the Year. He's coming off of those 2 ACL injuries, but he's finally back on the team. He's going to be a player, I think, that Rutgers is going to look to fill that hole that Jules Henningberg, when he left last year, had when he left the team.
Henningberg last year, 37 goals and 35 assists. So the question coming into this season was who was going to pick up that offensive slack, and they're counting on Sherlin-Beatties to do so. He was the Big Ten Freshman of the Year in 2016 with 43 goals for the Scarlet Knights. Rutgers wins the face-off. That's a key for RU coming into this season, something they struggled with a year ago. So Rutgers off to the 1-0 lead. We're pretty much just underway. First quarter, in the first quarter of play in this 2019 campaign.
And I would say Rutgers was able to handle their very first possession with a shot clock fairly well. They're able to work the ball around, take their time on offense, and get a good look.
Brennan Kamish, a transfer to this Rutgers team this year, takes that shot, and it's deflected. And here comes Lafayette with their first possession of the season. Sam Friedman carries up for the Leopards, and he flips it back outside. This is Brian Hess, a sophomore Jersey guy out of Rumson Fairhaven High School. Ben Pounds in goal for Rutgers, about to see his first action on the Division I level. Lafayette sets it up. Plenty of time on that shot clock, 45 seconds. Connor Walters, senior attacker with 28 goals a year ago for Lafayette. He's their big gun offensively. That That pass comes to the side of the cage, almost gets away, and now Lafayette under 30 seconds on their shot clock.
And you see Rutgers tightly defending within the crease area, so they're not allowing Lafayette any easy looks at the goal.
There's Walters trying to get around the defender, cannot. Good defense that time by Stahanczyk of Rutgers. A lot of impressive freshmen on this Rutgers roster. You're down to 2 on the shot clock, and a flag is thrown. The shot is deflected in front, and a flag thrown just with about a second left on that shot clock. Looks like it's Rob Marin who is called for the penalty.
Is 4 better now?
Yeah, I think he had wrapped his stick around the offensive player and disrupted him getting the shot off, which the shot clock was winding down. So, unfortunately, kind of a bailout there for Lafayette. Now I think they'll get a fresh shot clock and the ball.
Yeah, they've got a fresh 80 up on the shot clock, so Lafayette can reset.
Number 27, Robert Marin, 30 seconds, hold.
And it's a 30-second holding penalty. So, Lafayette a man up. See if the Leopards can take advantage. They wheel it around, passing around the perimeter. Good defense here by Rutgers, forcing Lafayette outside, unable to get any penetration. And a good check delivered up top that time by Mark Cristiano. Lafayette already has exhausted half of that shot clock. So good defensive effort here by the Scarlet Knights. Ball knocked away momentarily. Up top is Connor Dennert for Lafayette, the senior. He carries here, makes a spin move, now fires it high and wide up over the crossbar. Still 13 seconds on the shot clock. Rutgers with a 1-0 lead on the goal by Adam Sherlimbides. And the ball knocked away. I guess it was knocked away.
That was
kind
bizarre,
of an odd
Lou.
play.
Yeah, it almost looked like Lafayette threw the ball away as if they said, all right, we give up. We can't do anything in this possession. We're just going to come back and play defense.
I was giving the Leopards the benefit of the doubt there. Rutgers possession. Up top, Tommy Coyne. Had an impressive freshman season last year. 16 goals, 8 assists for the Scarlet Knights. 9:45 remaining in the first. Rutgers with a 1-0 lead. Sherlimbides, actually not Sherlimbides, but Tommy Coyne with a wraparound that time, taking the shot.
And you see Rutgers on offense, they're spreading their players out in the field, so they're having plenty of time to be able to pass the ball around. They're making Lafayette, that's playing a very tight man-to-man defense, have to cover a large amount of field, which is making them exhausted because they're really running around a lot, and Rutgers is just taking their time effectively on offense.
Sprock trying to get around a defender. Talked about Sprock, a high school All-American freshman out of Dallas, Texas. Sidewinding shot, and the stop made by Ryan Ness. Did a nice job to go down low and make that save.
And a good shot there by Gallagher. He kind of bobbled the pass a little bit and had to take a second to set his feet. I think that's why he wasn't able to get that goal to turn into some points there for Rutgers. But nonetheless, a nice job by Ryan Hess to lock that down and make a nice save.
Good outlet pass up ahead. Lafayette gets it across the timeline. And the Leopards trying to set up here, and they call a timeout. So Patrick Myers wants to talk it over and try to set something up here offensively. His team is down 1-0 with 8 minutes and 36 seconds remaining here in this first quarter.
Timeout, Lafayette.
This is the earliest season opener in program history for Rutgers. They've never played on Groundhog Day before. So they're starting up today against Lafayette, and next week, of course, they'll be on the road at St. John's, and then back home against Army, and Loyola of Maryland rounds out the February schedule. All games in February, all 4 games on Saturday.
And none of those games are going to be easy in any way, Lou. I mean, you look at the Army game, the Loyola game, those two will be here at home. But even against St. John's, the schedule really doesn't get any easier for Rutgers as they go throughout the season.
So Rutgers coming into this season in the preseason poll ranked number 12. Getting their opener here today against a Patriot League foe in Lafayette. Interesting that these two teams have not played in a couple of years. RU leads the all-time series. Listen to this, 14-0. The last meeting, though, was in 2012. Rutgers won 9-6. But it's only the 4th time that Rutgers and Lafayette have played since 1953. So you talk about reviving a
old rivalry,
maybe? Yes. Lafayette and Rutgers, only the 4th time since 1953 that they're meeting here. Rutgers will see another Patriot League foe, as we said, in Army, but then Lehigh, number 13 Lehigh on March 12th. So a couple of Patriot League teams going up against the Scarlet Knights coming here to the stadium.
And then, of course, you have Princeton the week before on March 9th. So just, we talked about it a moment ago, Lou. The schedule this year for Rutgers, it's always going to be tough because Rutgers is one of the better teams in the nation in men's lacrosse, so they have a tough schedule every single season. But especially this year, Rutgers has to make every single game count. There were games last year down the stretch where they faltered a little bit. That didn't allow them to get to the NCAA tournament. But this year, they've got to make every one of those tough games count.
So a big possession here for Lafayette. We say big because first quarter last year was a disaster for the Leopards. They were outscored in the first quarter 101-54. That's something that Patrick Myers absolutely wants to turn around this season. They're down 1-0 here. 8 minutes and 15 seconds remaining in the first. Good defense behind the cage by Franskowiak. Zach Franskowiak, the sophomore out of Utah. Several Utah players on this Rutgers roster. You get the feeling those Utah kids are not bothered by the 25-degree temperature out there.
And again, notice how Rutgers is staying home. They're not really allowing Lafayette any good looks or any penetration. You mentioned it, Lou, early in the first quarter. Any penetration moving towards the crease. Rutgers is staying home. They're not being intimidated. And Lafayette's having difficulty just trying to get inside.
Last shot blocked. Rutgers gets it back. Coyne flips it behind the goal. Pass comes up top. Sherlin Beatty's good ball movement by Rutgers. And they score. Great ball movement. Zach Franskowiak puts it home. And the Scarlet Knights take a 2-0 lead.
And that's how quickly Rutgers can be effective on the offensive end. And there really wasn't much to it. You saw Zankodiak there just with a nice shot, took his time. Lafayette, they tried to play a little bit tighter around the crease, around the goal, but Rutgers just was able to effectively pass the ball around. I think everyone on that side of the field touched it at least once, and they get the quick score.
You saw that quick pass right there by Sherlin Beatty. He gives you so much out there on the field. Of course, his scoring ability, but he's a great playmaker as well. And Rutgers, so far in the early going of this game, has got to be very happy with what they see from Sherlin Beatty's coming back from those ACL injuries.
Well, we talked about how he's going to have to be a player that's going to step up because Rutgers no longer has Jules Henningberg or Christian Mazzone, two players that were staples of Rutgers' offense last year. And Sherlin Beatty's missing the last 2 years. We know he's good, but he's kind of been rusty. So this is an opportunity for him to shake some of that rust off. He's certainly gotten off to a very good start.
Donnie Coyne flips it behind the goal. Rutgers again doing the job in the face-off circle. And a twisting turnaround shot by Kieran Mullins goes wide. Mullins, a returning starter for Rutgers, 2-year starter, had 31 goals and 17 assists last year out of Islip, Long Island. Great program there. Here's an opportunity again. The shot, score! Ryan Gallagher this time on the run. So Gallagher had a seam, found an opening, and fired it home. it might have been 39, not 34. Let's see, if it's 39, it was Oscar Meade. Let's see if we get the official call on that. And it is 39. Oscar Meade on the goal. 39, not 34. So it's Owen Meade, rather, 39. He had 5 goals last year. He's got 1 now here in 2019. 39, Owen Meade.
And a nice attack by Owen Meade very early on in the shot clock. We've seen Rutgers take shots. They're not letting that shot clock really go down very much. They're being aggressive, keeping their foot on the gas and taking advantage early on in the shot clock.
So Rutgers goals, Sherlin Beatties, France Kowiak, and now Owen Meade, who gets his first of the year. Meade, the junior out of Sparta High School in northern New Jersey. So Rutgers spreading around their scoring early, and the Scarlet Knights with a 3-0 lead. Lafayette trying to get a shot opportunity. That one just goes wide.
And that's about as much action as Ben Pounds has had all afternoon long, Lou. He's really been pretty quiet. He really hasn't had to do much because the rest of his teammates have done such a good job at not allowing Lafayette any real good looks at the net.
Dennert has it knocked away from him. Good defense here by the Knights. Excellent job by Stahanczyk, the long stick freshman. And the Leopards reset. They do have a fresh shot clock to work with here. Down by 3. Here's a shot opportunity, and Pounds might have got a piece of that to deflect it. Rutgers able to pick up the loose ball. Now the ball on the ground, and Lafayette gets to it. Big hit delivered there by Garrett Bullitt to knock it away. Bullitt, the redshirt sophomore defenseman, and they're expecting big things from him this year as well on the defensive side.
Yeah, that was like a two-hand hockey check right there for Bullitt, knocking away any chance that Lafayette would have been able to get that loose ball.
Coyne delivers behind the goal. Here's Mullins trying to break free. Comes outside. That shot by Casey Rose deflected up over the crossbar.
But a nice look by Rose because Rose was kind of in transition. He was in stride. He had a clean look at the net. I like that aggressiveness by Rose.
Sherlin Beatties trying an underhand shot that time. A little underhand flip shot. That was deflected. RU keeps possession. Scarlet Knights with a 3-goal lead. 4 minutes, 20 seconds left in the first. Here's Rose trying to dodge his defender. Gets around him, takes the shot, and fires it just wide.
Brian Hess, who was defending Rose there, is actually very lucky that Rose didn't really get a good look at that because that was a beautiful move to get around Hess in the first place. Just couldn't quite finish.
Up top, Coyne takes the shot, and the stop made by Ryan Ness, who had it zeroed in all the way. Lafayette quickly brings it up. Leopards on the move, go behind the goal. Lafayette just trying to get on the board here as they trail 3-0. Good job by Rutgers coming out defensively as France Kowiak. And the Leopards kind of reset here offensively. Again, France Kowiak out there defensively.
Not really a whole lot of movement for Lafayette on offense, Lou, which is a stark contrast to Rutgers has had a lot of different bodies moving on offense. Lafayette looks stagnant on offense, so they're going to have to make an adjustment because Rutgers isn't really having to work that hard on the defensive end.
Down to 10 on the shot clock, and that pass gets away. but a first shot clock given to the Leopards. 2 minutes, 40 seconds left here in the first. And RU off to a good start. Scarlet Knights up 3-0. Again, ball gets away momentarily, picked up by Connor Walters. Here's Walters at X trying to get around two defenders. Cannot. Good job by Kyle Pless, preseason All-American, long stick midi. He will be an anchor on that Rutgers defense this year. Here's a shot. Score! Leopards get their first goal of the season, and it looks like Ryan Kirkwood, the freshman midfielder, puts it home.
Yeah, some good ball movement there, and Kirkwood able to set his feet. Nice look, nice underhand shot there. I don't think Ben Pounds was expecting that, and Lafayette's able to get their first goal of the game.
Kirkwood, the freshman, played his high school lacrosse at St. Peter's Prep up in Jersey City, and he had a good look that time. Ben Pounds, no chance on that one. So Lafayette is on the board. They're down 3-1.
Much needed score there for Lafayette.
2 minutes remaining here in the first.
Lafayette goal number 1, Ryan Kirkwood.
And this time the Leopards are able to win the face-off, something they have not been able to do much of early on. Connor Walters out of Lake Forest, Illinois. You mentioned 28 goals, 21 assists last year for the Leopards. Denner trying to get around his defender, Stevens, actually Cole Daninger, and Rutgers able to take it away. Scarlet Knights get it across, and Cristiano delivers the pass on the right wing. Kieran Mullins directing traffic back there. 1 minute left. Here are the first.
Yeah, it looks like Rutgers is making some substitutions here.
Sherlin Beatties flips it back outside. Mike Sanguinetti wears number 14, makes a nice move, then draws two defenders. Flips behind the goal to Coyne. Coyne dishes. And the shot taken wide. It'll bounce out with 33.4 seconds remaining.
And as they say in basketball, the shot clock now is turned off.
That's right. Tommy Coyne flips it back up top. And Rutgers will try to hold for the last shot here with 20 seconds left. Coyne up top. There's a shot that goes wide. Taken by Brennan Camish. Camish, a transfer out of Detroit Mercy. Final 10 seconds of quarter number 1. Mullins dishes up top. Coyne takes the shot that might have hit the pipe and bounces away. And with 1.4, Rutgers will try to get one quick shot off. Coyne trying to go over the shoulder at the buzzer, but cannot score. So an entertaining first quarter of play here in the 2019 season opener. Good start for the Scarlet Knights. Our score after one, Rutgers 3, Lafayette 1. Second quarter upcoming on BTN Plus. Welcome back to HighPoint.com Stadium, where the Scarlet Knights of Rutgers lead Lafayette by the score of 3-1. Lou Brogno, along with Tim Catalfamo, glad you could join us on this Saturday afternoon, the season opener. Scarlet Knights out shooting Lafayette in period number 1, 15-7. And Tim, a key factor for RU. They won 3 of the 5 faceoffs.
And that was a key last year. In fact, actually, one of the games that Rutgers goes back and looks at in the 2018 season where it kind of halted them from getting to the NCAA tournament was against Maryland in that Big Ten tournament game. In the second half in particular, they struggled mightily with faceoffs. They needed to improve upon that this year, and so far Rutgers has done a nice job with Connor Harriman winning those faceoffs and getting control of the ball early on, which is crucial now with this new shot clock rule.
Good first quarter also for Adam Sherlin-Beatties, coming back from his ACL injuries the last 2 years. He had a goal and an assist for RU in the first. Rutgers possession. Here's Kieran Mullins trying to wrap around the cage. Now takes a quick underhand blistering shot and scores. What a shot by Mullins, and Rutgers takes a 4-1 lead.
Yeah, and I think Mullins kind of just lulls the defense to sleep here. Look at, he just kind of just flicks it with his wrist and kind of catches Ryan Ness sleeping there, defending the goal. And for Mullins, we talked about how he needed to step up as well. He was the leading return scorer for Rutgers, so the fact that he gets on the board early on in the second quarter, that's huge for Kieran Mullins.
One more look. He goes low, no chance there. That's a beautiful shot by Mullins. He gets his first of the season, and Rutgers up 4-1. A lot of pushing on that face-off, and Lafayette awarded possession. So the Leopards moving right to left on your screen here in quarter number 2. We'll try to right the ship. Rutgers packing in that defense up top for Lafayette. Andrew Robbins flips it across. Nice job by the Scarlet Knights to deflect that out. Nice job by Garrett Michael I, the long stick midi. Got his stick up there, able to deflect it. Up top is Brian Hess.
See, tight defense here for Rutgers.
Pass delivered in the middle of a lot of traffic and picked off by the Knights. Ben Pounds flips it out. Pounds getting the start in goal today. Max Edelman penciled in as the starting goalie for the Scarlet Knights prior to the season, just not unable to go today in this season opener. So Pounds, as we said, right into the fire.
It's a big role for the freshman, but so far he's handled it very nicely. Baptism by fire.
12 minutes and 35 seconds remaining here in this second quarter. Well, Pounds saw a lot of championship high school lacrosse action at Ridgewood High School. There's a shot. Score! Oh, what a shot on the run. Mike Sanguinetti with a rifle shot. Here it is.
And Rutgers, this is characteristic of the team, Lou. They just like to they don't even like to set their feet when they shoot. They're almost kind of playing a run and gun type of offense. And you see Sanguinetti there just not even really set his feet, had an extra step on the defender, maybe a half a step, and then with the left hand able to knock that one home. Just a nice all-around job on offense that time for the Scarlet Knights.
A sophomore out of Robbinsville High School in Mercer County. So many terrific New Jersey recruits on this Rutgers roster.
There's a lot of contact there, actually. I was surprised that the whistle was so late there for Lafayette. Rutgers going to get the ball there.
Sherlin-Beatties flips it behind the goal. Are you up 5-1? 12 minutes remaining here in the first half. And we talked about Rutgers' tough schedule. This is a tough season opener for Lafayette. The Leopards won't see too many teams the caliber of Rutgers on their schedule this year.
Yeah, the really only common opponent that they have is Army. Rutgers going to play Army in a couple of weeks. They'll play I'm talking about Lafayette now, Army on the road, but not really the caliber of teams that Lafayette is going to play this year anywhere near the level that Rutgers is.
Lafayette gets possession on the turnover. The Leopards look to settle in here. 11 minutes and 15 seconds left here in the first half. Again, Rutgers defense plus out there defensively for the Scarlet Knights. Now getting around plus, an opportunity there for Lafayette, but they could not cash in. And I'll confess that Lafayette's numbers not the easiest to see on those black jerseys. Maroon numbers on black jerseys. All right, that's my final complaint of the broadcast. Here's Mullins. He lets a shot go. That's deflected.
Well, at least they have maroon, at least not silver, or my all-time favorite, gray on black, which is like, oh, forget about it.
Rutgers possession. Here's Sherlin Beatties makes a nice little stutter step move right behind the cage. Lost his footing momentarily. Brings it back outside. RU up 5-1, and looks like a timeout for the Scarlet Knights. Brian Breck wants to talk it over. Brian Breck, in his 8th season at the helm of the Scarlet Knights, he has done a tremendous job with this program. 30 wins the last 3 years for Rutgers, and again, this is a program that has been knocking on the door of the NCAA tournament, and quite frankly, probably should have made it 2 of the last 3 years, but just the way it goes, this year they want to make sure they make it, and they can do that by taking care of business in the Big Ten Conference.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, it really just comes down to conference play. Rutgers had so many close losses last year in conference play, 2 in particular to finish out the year against Ohio State and Maryland, which really kind of hurt their overall look as far as the committee is concerned to make the NCAA tournament. But they're right there, and that's one of the reasons why Brian Breck feels this year that they just have got to get the details all figured out. The details of things such as winning face-offs, making sure they have good looks on offense. Those are little minor details that we don't talk a whole lot about, but Rutgers in the past has struggled with refining some of those details, and one of the reasons why Rutgers has been snubbed of that Big Ten, or I should say the NCAA tournament the last couple of years, Lou.
Rutgers, Brian Brecht has done an outstanding job this year bringing in 2 terrific assistant coaches to his staff as well. Eric Saramet, 9 years at the Air Force Academy. They made 3 NCAA tournaments there, the Falcons did, and Dan Conchi was at Towson for 7 years, and they went to 4 NCAA tournaments and even a Final Four. That's a pretty good list of assistant coaches added to the staff.
Well, it's certainly the type of staff that you want, and Brian Breck, I think, pretty smart guy to begin with, but now having the additions of those 2 assistant coaches gives Rutgers a lot of options and a lot of experience on the coaching end.
So following the timeout, Rutgers possession. Scarlet Knights up 5-1.
We're starting to see Lafayette the last couple times on defense put more guys in the box. We see that early on with Rutgers when they're defending on their end. They put a lot of guys in the box, but Lafayette now has tightened up their defense, trying to give Rutgers a little bit less penetration inside.
Sherlin Beatty's trying to sneak one in there, but Ryan Ness was ready for it. Now Sherlin Beatty's with some nice checks, but Lafayette able to get out of there with it, and they finally get it across.
Yeah, that was actually close to a 20-second violation. You've got to get it across midfield before that shot clock is down to 60.
Zane Crandall wound up, took a blistering shot, and Ben Pounds made a nice save. But Lafayette gets it right back as Rutgers turns it over. Approaching 9 minutes left first half. Leopards on the attack. Andrew Robbins wheels it around. Up top, Robert Garaventi wearing number 10. Another shot opportunity goes just wide. Connor Walters on the run that time. Was shooting across his body. Just couldn't direct it just inside the far side pipe.
And we're seeing Lafayette be a little bit more aggressive on offense. They're kind of testing the waters. It's a nice shot there.
Beautiful shot up top. Looked like Andrew Robbins taking that shot. The sophomore out of Ramapo High School in North Jersey, resident of Wyckoff. Let's see if it is indeed number 5.
Well, it's a nice feed, and then Robinson really kind of had his feet set, so he didn't really have to move that much. Took a nice shot and a nice goal, much needed for Lafayette in the second quarter.
Stops the bleeding a little bit after Rutgers went on a bit of a run, so it's 5-2 with 8.5 remaining. Rutgers again doing a nice job on the face-off. Connor Harriman taking the face-off there. Harriman is a senior transfer from Towson. He's got just 1 year of eligibility here, but Rutgers getting him to come into the program, and as we said, face-offs were a problem last year, and he may help solidify that. Mullins kind of hung up there behind the goal. Now he's able to bring it out.
And interesting there, Ryan Ness actually came out from behind the goal, and Lafayette had a very strange formation. They had 2 different defenders on either side of the sticks, trying to give Rutgers a little bit different look when they have the ball.
Here's Gallagher, takes the pass to the side of the cage. Sherlin Beatties, what a shot. As he was twisting around the cage, he just kind of went sidewinding with it and fired it home.
Yeah, that's Sherlin Beatty's second goal of the afternoon. And again, Rutgers just in transition. They're not really a team that likes to take set shots. They like to be kind of on the run, so to speak. And we talked about how big Sherlin Beatties was going to have to come up in this season in 2019, Lou. And so far, he's gotten things off to a strong start.
Scarlet Knights up 6-2 with 7:40 left here in the first half.
Another face-off win.
Rutgers goal number 8, Adam Charlin Beatties, assisted by number 34.
So again, Connor Harriman doing a good job in the circle for RU. Rutgers right back at it on attack. Up top, it goes to Sanguinetti. Now Mullins flips it around. Sherlin Beatties behind the cage. Rutgers wheels it around. Shot deflected in front. That time, Ness able to get his stick down on it. And Lafayette trying to clear it out. Into the stick of Zane Crandall. And up ahead come the Leopards. Crandall gets around a defender and then is knocked away from the cage there by Zach Masessa. And the Leopards call a timeout. 6:22 remaining here in the second quarter. And a timeout on the field. Rutgers up 6-2. Welcome back to highpoint.com Stadium on this bright, sunny, but cold February afternoon. Game time temperature 24 degrees at face-off, but not too bad, believe it or not. If here in central New Jersey, just 2 days ago, it hit 0. So we
and that
are
wasn't even
much,
with the wind chill. The wind chill was below 0.
Yeah, we're much improved from a weather standpoint. Lafayette possession. Denner behind the goal. Flips it up top. Leopards are down by 4. This is Adam Close, who had a good season last year, 6 goals and 3 assists for Lafayette.
Nice defense there by Mark Cristiano, not allowing really any penetration there for Lafayette.
There's Denner again trying to spin away from the Rutgers defender. What a job defensively by Cristiano. And that pass intercepted by Kyle Pless.
And Rutgers doing a very nice job at the defensive end, Lou, kind of clustering within that box. I talked about it early on in the game. It's something that Rutgers just, it's almost like a strategy that they've taken with this game. They put 3 or 4 players within that box right around the crease, right in front of the goal, making it very difficult for anybody to drive any penetration towards the net. And then when Lafayette gets the ball inside, it gets deflected a lot of the time because there's so many defensive bodies in there for Rutgers.
Nice pass to feed Sherlin Beatties, but his shot goes to the side of the net.
Ooh.
Casey Rose almost knocked the ball away. He almost knocked the stick out of the hands of Zane Crandall.
Well, Crandall lost his shoe there. There was some contact. I'm surprised it actually wasn't a foul there. I think Rutgers may have gotten lucky there, but for Crandall, he'll have to come off. He's only got 1 shoe.
We've only had 1 penalty here this first half. Lafayette had a man-up advantage on a 30-second hold committed by Rutgers, and that's been it. Luke Cummings for the Leopards. Flips it across. Here's a shot. Whistles high and wide up over the crossbar.
But you're starting to see Lafayette be a little bit more aggressive, trying to drive towards the goal, trying to create some penetration. Early on in the first quarter, we really didn't see that. We saw a lot of perimeter shots that weren't really all that close, maybe 20, 25 yards out. Now Lafayette's being more aggressive. They're trying to drive to that goal.
Cummings goes across with the pass. That shot is high. 4:01 remaining in the second quarter.
That's the second time in the last 30 seconds that Cole Dutton has had the same exact shot just sail right over the goal.
Some tough stick checks there delivered by Garrett Bullitt, and he causes the turnover.
Yeah, Bullitt basically stuck his stick in there and just ripped the ball out.
Rutgers looking to bring it across. Rob Moran. Nice spin move. Delivers up ahead into the stick of Brian Aletti. Here's Sherlin Beatties. Finds Mullins behind the cage.
And Rutgers, with the lead that they have, they can afford to take a little bit of time off the clock. They're not really in a position where they have to shoot very early on. They can afford to kind of work the ball around the perimeter and just take some time. Allow your defense to take a breath.
Coyne backs up, resets. Mullins all the way up top, and that one gets away momentarily. See if Rutgers can pick up that ground ball. Still loose on the ground, and now a whistle. And it looks like a timeout called by Rutgers.
Timeout, Rutgers.
So Rutgers getting the timeout to keep possession with 2 minutes and 53 seconds remaining here in this second quarter. Scarlet Knights up 6-2. Rutgers coming off that 9-6 season a year ago. A tough 6 losses by a combined 11 goals. Looking to turn things around this year. So RU next week will be on the road at St. John's. And then Army comes in here, which should be a good early season test. And as we said, Loyola at the end of February.
Yeah, I mean, like we talked about earlier, Lou, with this schedule, it really doesn't get much easier for Rutgers on the road at St. John's. That'll be, I think, a moderate game for Rutgers, but then those 2 games that they have at home on February 26th and then on the 23rd against Army and Loyola, those will be 2 tough games, some early season tests for Rutgers before they even get to conference play. So that's what you come to expect when you're the 12th ranked team in the nation, but still, some early tests early on for Rutgers.
And Lafayette, if you take a look at their schedule, they get a chance to kind of find their legs. They'll be going up against NJIT next week, and then on the road at Wagner, at Manhattanville, Binghamton before they start Patriot League play. They've got Army, Navy, and Lehigh, all 3 in a row once they start league play. So those are 3 tough games for the Leopards. But neither team thinking about any of those games right now, with 2:53 remaining here in this first half. And Rutgers up 6-2.
And I think if you're Coach Brian Breck, you have to be pretty happy with what you've seen so far out of your team. This is the first game of the year, shaking some rust off. A lot of question marks every time you start the first game of the year, but especially this year with so many different players and maybe some different roles, I think you have to be pretty pleased from what you've seen out of your team.
This is Owen Mead, who has a goal earlier in the game for the Scarlet Knights. Mullins able to keep control.
Shot clock winding down here. Rutgers has to get a shot off, Lou.
Down to 5 seconds. Here's Mead. Mead tries to... Oh, I thought he was going to deliver a pass over the middle, and a shot clock violation. Rutgers did not get a shot off.
And that's just... And we talked about how good Brian Breck's got to feel about his team. That's not the way to come out of a timeout. You've got to have more awareness on the field.
So Lafayette with possession as we approach the 2-minute mark remaining here in the first half. This is Connor Walters being played by Pless. That's a good matchup there. The preseason All-American Pless on Lafayette's most potent offensive player.
And Hess is just being denied left and right there by Cristiano, not allowing any penetration towards the goal.
Intercepted. Excellent defensive play for Rutgers. Garrett Michael I takes it all the way, fires it high up over the crossbar. He was trying to go coast to coast.
Well, he had a good look. I mean, it's not necessarily a bad shot there for Garrett, but I think it threw him off that he was that wide open.
That's Koyak here for the Scarlet Knights. Let's see if Rutgers holds for nearly the last shot. There's about a 3-second differential between the game clock and the shot clock. Casey Rose takes the shot, and a nice stop made by Ryan Ness. And now Lafayette comes back the other way. They have an opportunity to take the last shot of the first half.
Yeah, Ness going down to the ground there to make that save there for the Leopards.
Andrew Robbins. Walters holds up his arm, signals a play. Or perhaps telling his teammates, hey, we're going to hold for that last shot.
Well, if they're going to hold for the final shot, you better start moving because you're running out of time here.
6 seconds. Walters double teamed. Flips it back outside. Shot right at the horn. Taken by Cole Dutton. Goes wide of the goal. And that will do it. So the first half in the first game of the season is in the books. And our score at halftime, Rutgers 6, Lafayette 2. Second half action upcoming on BTN+. Welcome back to highpoint.com Stadium. Here on this Saturday afternoon, the season opener for the Scarlet Knights of Rutgers. They lead Lafayette by the score of 6-2. Lou Brogno along with Tim Catalfamo. Glad you could join us. And good start for Rutgers in that first half. Scarlet Knights getting on the board early.
Yeah, I mean, you see some of these highlights here. Sherlin Beatty's got things started for Rutgers, and they really didn't look back. Really nice job working the ball around the perimeter and getting shots in transition. That's really been Rutgers' go-to strategy. And then you see here Ben Pounds, a player that's taking the place of Max Edelman, doing a nice job stepping into that role as a freshman, Lou.
Rutgers in that first half out shooting Lafayette 24-13. There's Sherlin Beatty's, and a good start for him in that first half. Adam Sherlin Beatty's with 2 goals and an assist for the Scarlet Knights. Kieran Mullins, also another one of their outstanding offensive players, with a goal and an assist. As we mentioned, Rutgers out shooting the Leopards 24-13, and one of the keys in that first half was in the face-off circle, where Rutgers won 7 out of 10.
Yeah, I mean, that's huge. We talked about how this team in the past has struggled. That was an area that they struggled in last year. They've been able to clean that up. Certainly early on, Connor Harriman has done a great job in that face-off circle. Has never really allowed Lafayette to settle in as a result of winning all those face-offs.
Only 1 penalty in that first half, which is pretty remarkable for a season-opening game. Both teams executing very well, not committing any penalties. Lafayette had a 30-second man-up advantage, could not score. And as we approach the second half, Rutgers has a 4-goal lead. Scarlet Knights are up 6-2.
And the other one thing that Lafayette didn't do a very good job of in the first half, Lou, was they didn't get Connor Walters very involved. He is their leading team scorer, certainly a player that has had plenty of different bodies on him. I mean, Rutgers has shut him down, but for him to not really have any points on the board in the first half is not good news for Lafayette.
So we start half number 2. Rutgers will be moving right to left on your screen here in the third quarter. And in case you're just joining us, just the 4th meeting between these two teams since 1953, first since 2012. 2 old rivals. Lafayette has never beaten Rutgers. Scarlet Knights trying to keep it that way with a 4-goal lead. That shot goes to the side of the cage, taken by Tommy Coyne. Rutgers picks it up. Sherlin Beatty's trying to go up over his shoulder. And Ryan Ness, who's been pretty solid for Lafayette in goal in the early going of this game, makes a nice save.
I was just going to say, Ryan Ness stayed home. He didn't get flustered. He was patient, had nice patience, and made a nice play on the goal to not allow Rutgers to get off to such a quick start in the third quarter.
And how about Sherlin Beatty? Does so many things well out there on the field. He creates another turnover, and Rutgers right back at it with possession. Casey Rose up top. This is the freshman David Spruck takes the shot. Another nice save by Ness.
We talk about Ness, 2 freshman goalies on either side of the ball there for these two teams, Lou. Of course, Rutgers is going with the brand new goalie on their side of the ball. You have Ness on the side for Lafayette. Ben Pounds has done a nice job for the Scarlet Knights on the other side. So 2 freshman goalies, kind of baptism by fire. They've both done collectively a very good job defending that goal.
And Lafayette, although it seems like they've been dominated in this game, they're only down by 4 goals, down 6-2. A lot of time, obviously, left, 13-plus minutes here in the third quarter. This is Brian Hess, wearing number 27, flips it behind the goal. Connor Walters got a touch there. Tim, we were talking off-air at halftime about Connor Walters. He's been kind of held in check. Terrific job by Kyle Pless defensively on him.
Yeah, we talked about it a moment ago. He's been shut down by the Rutgers Scarlet Knights defense. Really hasn't had any open looks at the goal. And for Lafayette, they've got to find a way to get him more involved on offense in the second half.
There's a shot. Pounds able to jump on top of it. I think he thought at first it might have gotten by him, and then he quickly looked down. It was at his feet. He hopped on top of the ball.
Yeah, kind of a lucky break there for Pounds. I think he actually thought he had sat on the ball and turned around and was able to just keep it from going beyond that line underneath the goal.
And that pass gets away from the Scarlet Knights. A turnover by Rutgers, and Lafayette coming back the other way.
And that's twice now that we've seen Rutgers to start this second half, Lou, have a couple of opportunities that they haven't been able to convert on, and Lafayette's done a nice job on defense, limiting Rutgers, making them shoot the ball early on and then getting the ball quickly and coming down the other end of the floor.
Walters flips it across. Lafayette trying to cut the deficit to 3 on this possession. Adam Close delivers up top. Plenty of time on the shot clock, just under 40 seconds. And again, if you're tuning in for the first time this season, in this season opening game, and you heard us say shot clock, yes, there is a shot clock in NCAA Division I lacrosse this year. It is an 80-second possession.
We really haven't seen it affect either team. We've had a couple of minor violations. Rutgers had one late in the first half, but it really hasn't affected either team so far.
Ben Pounds with a beautiful save that time. Lafayette had a good look at the goal and a good check on the near side by Connor Walters. Forces a turnover, and then Franz Kowiak intercepts the pass. What a play by Franz Kowiak as he got into the passing lane and picked it off. Rutgers possession, up by 4.
And I think if you're Rutgers, you just want to take some time on this possession. They've been hurrying their shots the last 2 times down the field on this end. You want to take your time. You have a 4-point lead. There's certainly no hurry here. First game of the year, try to work the ball around, shake some rust off, and get a good look.
This is Kamish. He thought about pulling the trigger. Could not get away from his defender. 30 seconds on the shot clock. Kamish. Some nice checks being delivered by Cole Dutton of Lafayette up top. Sherlin Beatties behind the goal. Comes up top. Peterson goes across. And that shot is stopped easily. Nice play by Ryan Ness as Mike Sanguinetti took the shot.
Yeah, and how about Ness playing much better in the third quarter? That's 3 times now that he's had a shot aimed at him, and he's remained calm and has done a nice job.
9.5 remaining in the third. Walters trying to wind up, and Pless stood his ground in front of him.
Plus has had a hard job today of trying to keep Walters at bay, but he's done a good job so far. Walters just really has struggled to get any penetration. He's struggled to really just get around Pless. Pless has just done such a nice job playing him so tightly on defense.
Good ball movement here by the Leopards on this possession. And Mark Cristiano with a nice check up front. Walters with a good pass in front, and Lafayette scores. All set up by the nice pass by Walters. Looked like it might have been Andrew Robbins who took the shot. And Ben Pounds had no chance on that one.
And certainly a nice job done by Walters to set that up. He could have taken that shot himself, but he found his teammate, was about 5 yards closer to the goal, took a nice job of kind of being patient, finding his teammate in stride, and Lafayette's able to finish, and now they're within 3, so they're certainly not out of this game by any means.
Leopards hanging around, down 6-3 with 8:51 remaining in the third quarter. And another good job by Connor Harriman on the faceoff, but then he loses possession. Fierce fight for the ground ball on the far side, and it will be awarded to Rutgers.
Kind of a sloppy start to the third quarter, Lou. Rutgers really hasn't come out all that strong. They've been struggling, have some turnovers. They haven't had great looks at the goal. So Lafayette, I think, is sensing an opportunity here to get back into the ball game.
Casey Rose flips it up top. Gallagher comes near side to Coyne. Brock trying to deliver a pass in front. It bounces around into the stick of Ryan Ness, who clears it out. Look at Mullins trying to take the ball away from Ness. What a job by Kieran Mullins. Tenacious. Mullins gets away in front. Did it go in?
Well, he scored, but there's a flag, and I think this is going to be on Lafayette. The question will be, will the score count? Because Mullins was really interfered with.
It is a goal. Our first super delayed reaction goal of the year as Mullins puts it in. Mullins scored, and then he looked at the officials. There was no indication.
Well, the officials had to discuss it because the score, and as you take a look at Mullins, how he actually got the ball in the first place on the replay, but Mullins had scored, and as he was scoring, he got hit from behind, and that's when the flag came out from one of the judges that was watching that, and I think Lafayette was actually lucky that Mullins was able to score because that was clearly going to be a man-up opportunity. Watch here, Mullins get hit from behind, and right as he's falling down, he's somehow able to flip it into the goal. So great concentration there by Kieran Mullins.
Sherlin Beatties knew it was good. He raised his arms. Score.
Delayed reaction, though.
And Rutgers has a 7-3 lead. What a job by Kieran Mullins. You talk about a tremendous effort, both defensively and, of course, the shot. And the ball picked up by Walters. He dishes back. Here's the shot. Saved by Pounds. He got his stick up and was able to deflect it. That might have been Ben Pounds' best stop of the game.
Yeah, that came in there like a bullet, but Pounds just able to be patient.
Mullins with a great pass in front. Sherlin Beatties took the shot, and again, Ryan Ness robbed him. Here comes Sam Friedman. Brings it across for the Leopards. They're down by 4, 7-3. Walters pushed away by Pless. Action has really picked up over the last 2 minutes or so. 6:25 left in the third. Up top, Luke Cummings. There's a shot up high over the crossbar out of play. Robbie Garaventi took the shot. Garaventi had 5 goals last year for Lafayette.
He's one of those players that likes to play a hybrid of an attacker and a midfielder, so he's getting involved in this third quarter for the Leopards.
And that shot goes in. Up top again, Andrew Robbins takes the shot, and Lafayette creeps right back in. It is now 7-4.
Watch Robbins here. The nice pass kind of sets up, and I think Ben Pounds wasn't really set near the goal, and it allows Lafayette to get an easy score.
So Rutgers has just not been able to pull away from the Leopards. They maintain that 3-goal advantage. It's been around 3-4 goal advantage primarily throughout the game.
Well, we've definitely seen the tempo uptick in the second half, Lou. I mean, Lafayette has come out with a lot more energy than they showed in the first. Rutgers, while they have done a nice job winning faceoffs, they've been a little bit sloppy, and they've allowed Lafayette to hang around, and Lafayette now is starting to get in rhythm on offense.
Harriman wins another faceoff, carries up ahead for the Scarlet Knights, and flips it out to Kieran Mullins. Are you looking to settle down here? 5:25 remaining in the third, and Rutgers does have a 3-goal lead. They're up 7-4. Casey Rose has been relatively quiet so far in this game, but he ends that as he fires it home on cue. Casey Rose, who scored 21 a year ago, fires one home here to give the Scarlet Knights a 4-goal lead.
And Rose really kind of just leaned back and took that shot, about 25 yards out. Nice delivery. And that's what Rutgers needed. They needed something to kind of calm this run that Lafayette had been getting themselves into the last couple of minutes. They were starting to gear up. As I said a moment ago, they were starting to get more confident on offense, starting to hit their stride, and Rose just fires that one in there for the score.
So it's an 8-4 game as Casey Rose gets into the scoring column. Harriman again wins the faceoff. He's done a tremendous job in the faceoff circle here this afternoon. Coyne dumps it behind the goal. Sherlin Beatties wheels it around, and Rutgers sets up. Nice spin move. Up top, here's Sprock, the freshman. Trying to get away from two defenders, unable to do so. Good defense by Lafayette. Mullins behind the goal, wheels around and fires it wide. 35 seconds still on the shot clock here for the Scarlet Knights. Sherlin Beatties looking for a cutter in front, but nobody home. There's the shot taken, and another stop made by Ryan Ness. Look at that job by Gallagher defensively, forcing a turnover. Sherlin Beatties almost able to pick it up and take it right in. He does eventually does get the ground ball. Mullins behind the cage.
And I tell you, Lafayette was really lucky there because Ryan Ness was not even in position. Had Sherlin Beatties gotten that would have been a score easily.
Coyne took the shot, and again, Ness was equal to the task. 3.5 remaining here in the third. Rutgers with a 4-goal lead. They're up 8-4. A job defensively by Zach Bassessa, chasing Ryan Kirkwood way back towards midfield. Lafayette setting up under 30 now on the shot clock. Brian Aletti with good defense behind the goal for the Scarlet Knights. There's a shot that bounces up over the crossbar. Bounced in front of the circle, then up over the crossbar. Just 13 seconds on the shot clock for the Leopards. See if they can get a shot off. Up top it comes. Down to 5 seconds. Kirkwood takes the shot. Pounds makes the save. His outlet pass up ahead, off the mark, and the ball still loose on the ground. Big hit delivered by France Kowiak, but Lafayette does pick up the ground ball.
Yeah, France Kowiak's got to be a little careful. That was close to being a two-hand check penalty. You've got to be careful when you're going for the loose ball, kind of leaning towards the head area when you make that check.
A minute 50 remaining here in the third quarter. Rutgers up 8-4.
Ooh.
And Lafayette gets a goal from way up top. Looked like number 2, Cole Dutton, able to bounce it home.
And it looked like Brian Aletti, number 46. You see him kind of out of the camera shot. He had gone down just as the play was ending. He kind of hobbles off under his own power, but I'm not sure really what happened to Aletti, but Rutgers was kind of almost in a man-down situation there, and that's what allowed Lafayette to have an extra body that wasn't really guarded because Aletti was limping around on defense.
Aletti comes off the field. He needs help getting to the sideline. And
see, watch Aletti, number 46, kind of just goes down all by himself. I don't really know what happened, but he's obviously pulled something in his leg area.
Meanwhile, quite a shot by Cole Dutton an impressive freshman out of a great lacrosse program on Long Island, Garden City.
Yeah, Coach Myers preseason had talked about how he, along with Ryan Kirkwood, are two players that he feels are going to develop as the season goes along. As you see there on the replay, I think that's another shot of what happened to Aletti maybe before the goal there. Looks like Harriman's going to come out.
Harriman comes out holding his side. That's not a good sign. He has been dominant here this afternoon in the face-off circle.
Alex Schoen now winning the face-off there for Rutgers.
Schoen, the redshirt senior, did an excellent job there.
Assisted by number 19, Connor Daly.
But once again, it is a 3-goal game. It's 8-5. So Lafayette's still very much in it with 1:15 remaining. Keep in mind, this is a team that went just 3-12 a year ago. But first-year head coach Patrick Myers has the Leopards playing very well here today. Sherlin Beatties flips it up top. Chasing down, but unable to pick it up for Rutgers was Brennan Camish. Now Rutgers does get it. Sherlin Beatties, 25 on the shot clock. 38 seconds left in the quarter. Joe Peterson goes behind the goal. Comes outside to Coyne. 10 seconds now on the shot clock. Meade takes the shot and bounces it wide. So Owen Meade able to get a shot off. Just 6 seconds on the shot clock. Rutgers will have to move quickly. Mullins trying to circle around. He dumps it to the side of the cage. It's a shot clock violation. Good defense by Lafayette.
And that's the second time that we've seen Rutgers have a shot clock violation. It happened late in the first out of a timeout. I just think they weren't aware that the shot clock was winding down. But on that possession, Lafayette just has tightened up their defense significantly the last couple of minutes on the field. They're putting more players in the box, as you see now the end of the third quarter. But they're putting more players in the box, Lou, and I think that's throwing Rutgers off because now they're not getting the same penetration that they had in the first half.
Well, we've got ourselves a good game here in this season opener as we head to the fourth quarter. The score, Rutgers 8, Lafayette 5. Fourth quarter upcoming on VTN+. Back at Rutgers HighPoint.com Stadium, where the Scarlet Knights lead Lafayette 8-5. Fourth quarter of the season opener here in this 2019 campaign. And Rutgers wins the opening faceoff again. And another nice job there by Connor Harriman, who went off the field holding his hip, but he's back out there. Good sign for the Scarlet Knights. Sherlin Beatty's trying to work his way in. Now he's open in front, and he scores! Adam Sherlin Beatties with a beautiful move to the side of the cage, took a hit as he released it and puts it home.
And how about Sharon Beatties? Watch him as he comes in here. He's falling down as he takes this shot. It was nice defense there, but he then makes a beautiful move and then kind of just throws it at the goal as he's falling down. And a heck of a play made by Adam Sharon Beatties.
And it's his third goal of the game, so he's got a hat trick in his return from the ACL injuries he's suffered the last 2 years.
And that's what Rutgers needed. We talked about this off camera, Lou. Lafayette has played very well in this second half, and they're dangerously close to Rutgers. I don't think anyone expected it to be this close this late into the game, but Rutgers out of that timeout to start the fourth, exactly what they needed to do.
So the Scarlet Knights are up 9-5, and they win yet another face-off as Cristiano picks up the ground ball. Scarlet Knights bring it up. Here's Sherlin Beatties. He goes behind the goal to Mullins, who has 2 goals in the game as well for RU. Casey Rose, who's been in the scoring column as well. All 3 of those players key offensive weapons for Rutgers this year. Here's Rose to the side of the goal. Goes to Mullins, trying to feed Tommy Coyne, who was cutting in front. Loose ball on the ground. Mullins picks it up again. Delivers on the run to Casey Rose, who carries to the side of the goal. 30 seconds on the shot clock now. Up top, it goes to Gallagher. And here is David Sprock. Sprock with a nice move. Delivers to Mullins. Good ball movement here by Rutgers. Gallagher, Sherlin Beatty's looking for a cutter in front. Delivers to Rose. Rose double teamed. Comes back outside Sprock. Sprock makes a nice move. Fires and scores! The freshman, David Sprock, puts it home. And Rutgers takes a 10-5 lead.
And how about Sprock? You mentioned it, Lou, the freshman. Rutgers couldn't get any penetration on that possession because Lafayette had stacked so many players around the goal, but that didn't really bother Sprock because he just chucked that one from about 20 yards out. Nice job, and now Rutgers has got 2 consecutive goals, and they lead by 5. That's exactly what you want to do to kind of stop the momentum and stop the bleeding, if you will, because Lafayette had gotten themselves back into the game.
So the Scarlet Knights go up by 5, their largest lead now. Still a lot of time, 13 minutes and 17 seconds left in the fourth. Rance Koyak picks up the loose ball off the faceoff.
Rutgers goal scored by number 0, David Sprock.
And here is Mullins directing traffic. Rutgers getting another possession.
Yeah, if there's a Player of the Game award, Lou, it's got to go to Connor Harriman. He has done an incredible job at the faceoff circle.
So far, a great addition to this Rutgers roster this season. Good start for him. Sherlin Beatty's dodging and knifing his way through the Lafayette defense. Gets it back, trying to ward off 2 defenders. Sprock can't pick up that loose ball. It is picked up by Sam Friedman of Lafayette. He tries to go across with the pass, and Sprock doing a great job hustling, recovers defensively to knock it away. Here comes Rutgers on the run. Sherlin Beatty, side of the cage. Mullins in front. Shot, score! Mullins with a great feed to the side of the cage. Mark Shakti scores his first goal of the season.
And just a nice job in transition there for Rutgers, coming up the field with nice poise and looking to move the ball around very quickly. Nice crisp passing and then being able to finish. That's now 3 straight goals for Rutgers to start this fourth quarter, Lou.
And the Scarlet Knights lengthen their lead. They're now up by 6. It's 11-5 RU.
That was a weird face-off there. I'm not sure what happened there.
Well, Rutgers does have possession.
Mark Shakti, assisted by number 4,
Harriman
Kieran Mullins.
pointing to the ball down on the turf, yelling to the official, "It's our ball."
It's just been a recurring story for Lafayette. They just have struggled to get any face-off wins. They weren't doing a terrible job in the first half, but it has been all Connor Harriman in this second half, winning face-off after face-off, which is so important because we talked about the shot clock rule, Lou. That was going to be important. It's going to make every possession count much more than it ever has before. So Rutgers has definitely cleaned that up during the offseason.
Sanguinetti, who's got a goal here today for the Scarlet Knights, goes up top. Sherlin Beatty's dishes behind. Mullins comes back up top. Shakti able to pick up the ground ball, and that call goes against Rutgers. So Lafayette gets it back, but they're down by 6. 10:45 remaining in the fourth.
Yeah, Lafayette needs a quick score. They got some quick scores in the third, but they need to be aggressive here. They really can't afford to take too much time on their possessions. They've got to score and score quickly. Not a whole lot of movement, though, in this possession for the Leopards.
Good job defensively by Cole Daniger. And then the ball goes out. Lafayette retains. It was off of Pless. And Lafayette gets one as they get a goal up over the shoulder of Ben Pounds. So the Leopards able to stop the bleeding somewhat as they score and make it an 11-6 game. And it looks like Robbie Garaventi, the junior attackman out of Rumson Fairhaven High School, gets a goal for the Leopards. So it's now 11-6. And even 10 minutes left here in the fourth. Harriman wins another face-off.
Number 10, Robbie Garaventi.
He carries up ahead on Rutgers with possession. Sherlin Beatties dumps the pass to Franz Koyak. Shakti behind the goal. Casey Rose way up top, taking a couple of stick checks. Now double teamed. .30 seconds on the shot clock. Sprock fires, and it's deflected in front. Picked up behind the goal by Mullins. Nice move by Casey Rose. Back up top, Sherlin Beatties winding up and scores! Sherlin Beatties again with a beautiful shot. Rifles it past Ryan Ness.
It was good defense there by Lafayette on that possession. They did a nice job of kind of sealing off anything inside, but Sherlin Beatties just made a better play coming around the crease and then coming back out and making a beautiful shot. That's where he's going to be critical for Rutgers this year. Those types of plays down the stretch are going to determine whether or not Rutgers gets to the NCAA tournament.
Scarlet Knights go up 12-6 with 8 minutes and 50 seconds left here in the fourth. Harriman again wins the face-off. It has been a recurring theme throughout the contest.
And if this continues, Harriman is working on a perfect second half as far as the face-off circle is concerned. He was 6 of 6 in the third quarter. I don't believe he's lost a face-off all quarter.
Rutgers able to put some distance between themselves and the Leopards with the work of Harriman, giving them multiple possessions, and they've been able to cash in. Here's Meade, side of the goal. Meade with a goal in that first quarter. Shakti comes back outside. Sanguinetti dumps it to Shakti. Mullins puts it home. Karen Mullins with a terrific shot, dodging away from his defender and fires it in.
And I think now fatigue is starting to become an issue for Lafayette, because you look at how many consecutive face-off wins that Rutgers has been able to get in this second half. They've almost all led to scores. And while Lafayette is playing better defensively, I think that you're starting to see the fatigue start to take place on their side of the ball.
Big opening game for Kieran Mullins, coming off a terrific season a year ago, which he scored 31 goals.
Just a simple wraparound shot there for Mullins. Nothing fancy, but Rutgers will take it.
RU up 13-6. Harriman again wins that faceoff and flips it back to Garrett Michael I. Got to be frustrating for Lafayette. They can't even get possession here in this second half.
Well, it's deflating because, you talk about the players on this side of the field. Think of how much time they've now had to play defense in this quarter alone.
Casey Rose putting on some nice moves. In front, Shakti scores. Picks up the loose ball and puts it home.
And this was the type of offense that we were expecting to see from Rutgers in the first half, but now they're just really piling it on. Just the defense for Lafayette is starting to get fatigued, and they're just nobody right in front of the net. An easy shot for Rutgers.
So Shakti with another goal, and Lafayette calls a timeout with 6 minutes and 56 seconds remaining in the fourth quarter. The score, Rutgers 14, Lafayette 6, here on BTN+.
Timeout, Lafayette.
Back here at Rutgers, where the 12th-ranked Scarlet Knights lead Lafayette 14-6. This was a close game pretty much throughout. At one point, it was 8-5, but the Scarlet Knights have exploded here in the second half, especially in this fourth quarter, and now comfortably in front by 8.
Well, it's 6 unanswered goals for Rutgers, and we talked about it as we were off air, Lou. The face-offs for Rutgers have just been incredible. Connor Harriman has done a great job, and if you're Lafayette, it's really difficult to do anything if you're not getting possession of the ball. So they just have got to do a better job of winning some of these face-offs. Doesn't look like they're going to win that one, but it's just been a unfortunate unraveling of the wheels for the Leopards that were close in the third quarter, only down by 3.
So Rutgers again with possession. 6 minutes and 40 seconds left in the fourth quarter. Let's see if Rutgers starts to milk that shot clock a little bit here. They've got 80 seconds to work with. Right now you're down at 55. Oh, and this is Meade up top. And there's a shot that's deflected. Peterson taking the shot. Joe Peterson, the redshirt freshman. Finally, Lafayette gets possession.
They're finally able to clear, too, which is huge. Has not happened all in the fourth quarter.
So the Leopards set up. If you're Lafayette, you just want to end this game on some positive notes.
Well, they certainly have, I think, can build off of the performance that they've had today. They can say that they were with Rutgers for 3 quarters, but you're right, Lou. You definitely want to, in these last couple of moments, to get something that you can build off of and take into your game next week against NJIT.
Garaventi sends it back outside. 30 seconds on the shot clock. That shot goes in. Score!
What a shot. Falling down, too. We saw that on the Rutgers side of the field. That's Garaventi again.
Bobby Garaventi with 5 goals a year last year for the Leopards. No, actually, it might not be Garaventi. It looks like it's Connor Dennert, the senior out of White Bear Lake, Minnesota. From Minnesota to Easton, Pennsylvania, attending Lafayette.
And it looked like Dennert actually tripped over his own shoe as he was driving to the goal there, trying to create some penetration. But a nice finish.
Lafayette goal scored by number 19.
Unfortunately, the Lafayette can still not win a face-off in this second half.
So Rutgers possession, 5 minutes and 10 seconds left here in the fourth. It's a 14-7 Scarlet Knight lead. Shakti goes behind the goal, gives to Tommy Coyne.
I don't think Rutgers is content to just let this shot clock wind down, Lou. I think that they want more points.
Coyne spinning, takes the shot, goes wide. And it's Lafayette possession. Good job by the Leopards.
It's going to be Lafayette possession because I believe Crandall was pushed from behind. I think that's why the officials gave the ball back to the Leopards.
And Crandall brings it up here for Lafayette. Four minutes, 15 seconds left in the fourth. Rutgers up by 7. Ryan Kirkwood, impressive freshman, New Jersey product out of St. Peter's Prep. Lafayette still with possession. 30 seconds remaining here on the shot clock. That pass misfired by Connor Walters, and Rutgers gets it back.
And how about that check there by Garrett Michael I, literally shoving Ryan Kirkwood down to the turf there on the opposite side of the field.
So the Scarlet Knights with possession, 3.5 remaining in the fourth. And this new-look Rutgers team with a 7-goal lead. We say new look. They lost 5 starters from last year, including the All-American Michael Rexroad defensively and the outstanding offensive player Jules Henningberg with 37 goals and 35 assists. So those are some tough shoes to fill, but Rutgers has done a nice job today here in their season opener.
And you also have to include in that list Christian Mazzone, who was a star player as well. So Rutgers graduated a lot of top players, but they've done a nice job in recruiting and then having some of the players that were on last year's team, such as Tommy Coyne and Casey Rose, step up and fill in those roles.
It's been a terrific game back for Adam Sherlin-Beatties, who missed 2 seasons in a row, back-to-back ACL injuries. And he is back out there and had a very solid opening game here today. Timeout called by Lafayette with 2:39 remaining. And you might say, well, why is Lafayette calling timeout down by 7 goals? Well, it's the opening game of the season, and this is a coaching moment for head coach Patrick Myers.
Yeah, in his first season, he certainly wants to kind of keep his team's morale as high as they can, because I think it's going to be difficult for Lafayette after the game to look at the scoreboard and think, oh, we really weren't in this game. But they were, Lou. I mean, they were in the game for 3 quarters. They played very effectively against Rutgers. In fact, there was a moment in the third where it looked like Lafayette was the better team, but not so much in the fourth. Rutgers has done a good job. Obviously, winning the faceoffs has a lot to do with that, which is an area that Rutgers needed to improve upon from last season. They've done that. But if you're Coach Patrick Myers, you want to kind of talk to your team and just keep their heads up. This is a tough opponent in the Scarlet Knights, 12th in the nation. This is going to be a tough game. And I think if you're Myers, you kind of knew that Rutgers at some point would hit their stride. So he's just trying to keep his team together and keep their spirits up the last 2 minutes and 39 seconds.
And Lafayette trying to build and get some momentum for their next game, which will be at home when they take on NJIT next Saturday. And, of course, Rutgers going on the road at St. John's next week. Rutgers' schedule as tough as any in the nation. Scarlet Knights will face 9 teams in the top 20 this year.
And many of them are Big Ten teams, Lou. I mean, you look at some of the strength of schedules that are around the conference. Rutgers has one of the toughest. They have Princeton, Lehigh. Those are not necessarily Big Ten teams, but then you have on the road at Syracuse, an ACC club, Johns Hopkins, Ohio State, Maryland, Michigan, Penn State. Those are all good teams. Many of them are ranked, so it doesn't get any easier. We talked about it at the beginning of the game for the Scarlet Knights. Every single game that they have this year is going to be a challenge, and that's something that Brian Breck has got to keep his team focused with, because each game does not get any easier as they go throughout the year.
Lafayette possession with 2 minutes and 30 seconds remaining here in the fourth quarter, and the Leopards are down by 7. Here's Walters trying to get away. Nice feed back. Beautiful play by Connor Walters, who has not done a lot of scoring today, but he's made some beautiful passes, and that one included results in a goal for the Leopards.
You see Walters here going to get bumped from behind by Plassa, then shove it over to Natoli for the goal there. And I think that's what you wanted to draw up out of that timeout if you're Lafayette. I mean, you took the timeout. Nice, smart timeout by Myers to try to reset his team, get one more score on the board. Nice moving the ball around, too, on that possession.
John Natoli, another New Jersey product, a sophomore attacker out of Mountain Lakes High School, the great Mountain Lakes program here in New Jersey, one of the all-time great high school lacrosse programs under their Hall of Fame head coach Tim Flynn. And Natoli, last year at 12 goals, 3 assists, had a hat trick against North Carolina last year. So he'll be one of the key offensive weapons this year for the Leopards as well.
I think that's the first face-off all quarter, Lou, that Rutgers has struggled to corral. So Lafayette definitely is not going away without a fight in these closing minutes.
Scarlet Knights do get possession, though, and Mullins sends it up ahead. With 1:45 left in the contest, Rutgers on its way to a season-opening victory as the Scarlet Knights lead it 14-8. And you got to think that RU will use the clock here on this possession. They have 40 seconds remaining and just 1:24 left in the fourth. Casey Rose thought for a second about pulling the trigger and pulls it back out. Now Rose makes a couple of nice moves. Again, draws the double team. David Spruck down to 5 seconds left. And I'm not sure if Rutgers even will take a shot. They won't. They just give it up, and shot clock expires. With 44 seconds remaining. Yeah, that's the class there. Brian Breck saying, okay, we've got enough. Up 14-8.
Yeah, good show of sportsmanship there by Brian Breck. Game obviously over. No need to shoot. Just want to get out of here with a win.
Lafayette will try to get one last goal. There's a shot that sails up high over the crossbar. Franz Koyak has not stopped playing as he took down Connor Dennert there. 19 seconds left. Lafayette will look for one more. Down 14-8. There's a shot. Sails high. All in all, pretty good debut for Rutgers freshman goalie Ben Pounds as well. Seeing his first Division I action. Max Edelman figures to be the starter for most of the season. But Pounds gets the start today. The clock expires. Well, let's see. They're not done yet. The clock has hit 0. But I think the officials are coming over to the side to say there might be a second left.
Yeah, I think there's going to be like 1.7 or something around that figure. Nope, 3.5. Wow, okay, so they're being generous there.
Well, Lafayette may get an opportunity to get another shot off. Pass in front of the goal, sails out, and that will do it. So Rutgers, an impressive start to their 2019 season as they knock off the Leopards of Lafayette by the score of 14-8. So all in all, a nice season opening victory for RU.
Yeah, I mean, Rutgers, they really needed to get things off to a strong start, shake the rust off. We talk about, regardless of who you play, it's the first game of the year, you're a little rusty, and we talked about how Jules Henningberg, Christian Mazzone, players that led the team last year are not here anymore because they've gone on and graduated. So who would be the players that would step up? Well, I think we saw Shirley Beatty